I'm Nora, I'm 27, and on the night of my dad's birthday, my sister snatched my crutch out from under me and called me a leech in front of our entire family. I hit the floor so hard my teeth rattled, while everyone just stared like it was some messy reality show instead of my life. She smirked, holding my crutch high like a trophy, and said, "Finally standing on your own, huh?" What she didn't know was that I'd been quietly collecting every receipt, every message, every lie she'd ever told, and that night, at Dad's party, I was done being her victim. By the time the cake was cut, the leech wouldn't be me. It would be her. I wasn't always the disabled sister or the burden, the way my older sister, Emily, liked to frame it. Growing up, it was always Emily and Nora. She was the golden child, straight A's, the lead in school plays, the first to get her driver's license. I was the quieter one, with sketchbooks and paint under my nails, happy to be in the background. Then 3 years ago, a drunk driver ran a red light and T-boned my car. I woke up in a hospital bed to the smell of antiseptic and the sound of machines. My mom was gone, killed on impact. My right leg was shattered in so many places. The doctors called it miraculous that I could still walk at all. Miraculous. But not free. I needed surgery, rehab, and a crutch to get around for long distances. My dad, Mark, changed overnight. He stopped going out with his friends, canceled his golf membership, and spent his evenings sitting in my room, just being there. Emily didn't change. Not really. A tea first, she tried. She'd pick me up from physical therapy, bring me smoothies, send me funny memes. But when the dust settled and the attention wasn't about her being the supportive big sister anymore, the visits got fewer. The texts got shorter. The eye rolls got bigger. Then the comments started. "You know Dad's exhausted, right? Maybe try not to ask for so much. I had to pick up an extra shift because your meds are so expensive. If you could at least act less fragile around family, that'd be great." It's depressing. On the surface, she was still the perfect daughter. She lived nearby, showed up to family dinners, and posted sentimental pictures of Mom every year on her anniversary. But I saw the other side, the side where she borrowed money from Dad and never paid it back. The side where she forgot to pay utilities in the house she lived in with him, so he'd cover it. The side where she guilt-tripped him. It's not like Nora can ever take care of you like I do. While I was stuck learning how to walk again, she was learning how to weaponize my trauma. About a year after the accident, I moved back in with Dad. My old bedroom was still there, though the posters were gone and the furniture was upgraded. I brought in my easel and paints and tried to make it feel like mine again. One night, I got up to grab some water and heard low voices in the kitchen. I can't keep doing this," Dad said, sounding tired. "You said the last time was the last time. It was going to be," Emily said, that fake sweet tone she used when she wanted something. "But the landlord raised the rent, and you know I can't just move. I'm alone. I don't have a safety net like Nora does. I froze in the hallway. Safety net like Nora does. You live in my house," Dad reminded her gently. "Nora doesn't have income yet. She's still looking for work that fits her situation. I'm looking too," she snapped. "But not everyone wants to hire a 31-year-old who had to start over. I don't have a degree like you wanted, remember? I wasn't allowed to be an artist like Princess Nora. I had to be practical, and now it's biting me in the ass," Dad sighed. "I'll help you this month. But you need to figure something out, Em. I'm not getting younger." I walked back to my room, heart pounding. Safety net like Nora does. I stared at my crutch leaning against the wall. I didn't feel like a princess. I felt like a prop. The more time I spent at home, the more I noticed things. Dad would slip cash into Emily's hand after Sunday dinners. She'd text him during work hours. "If I don't get this payment in, they'll shut off the power." He'd rewrite checks, muttering, "I'm just helping her get through a rough patch." Meanwhile, when I asked for anything beyond medications or basic necessities, his face would tighten. "I'm not made of money, kiddo. Maybe you can sell some of your paintings? You're talented." It hurt. Not because I didn't want to contribute, I did, but because I could feel the difference. He chose to give her money. With me, it felt like a debit. He resented. One day, I walked into the kitchen and saw a letter on the table. I wasn't snooping. It was just there. It was from a law office. The subject line, "Updated will and testament draft for review." My stomach flipped. I knew I shouldn't read it. I also knew that if I didn't, I'd keep imagining something worse. So I did. I skimmed down, crutch tucked under my arm, heart beating hard. I saw my name, Emily's, percentages, assets. The house.it wasn't as bad as I feared. Dad was splitting everything between us. Equal shares, except there was a note about arrangements for Nora's continued medical needs and a handwritten scribble in the margin. Talk to Emily about administering this? My blood ran cold. Administering. As in, Emily managing my care. Emily controlling the money intended to help me, and just like that, my fear turned into fuel. Fast forward to Dad's upcoming 60th birthday. It was all Emily could talk about. She organized the venue, a rented hall at his favorite restaurant. She made a group chat with distant cousins, old friends, and colleagues. She posted on Facebook, so excited to celebrate the best dad in the world. Meanwhile, I watched her borrow more money from him to make the party happen. We want it to be special, Dad, she said. You deserve this. And Nora can't really help with planning, so I'm doing all the heavy lifting. I heard that part too. What no one knew was that by then, I'd started collecting things, like screenshots of Emily's messages asking for money, promising to pay it back next month, which never came. Like photos of overdue bills and her name stacked in the mailbox. Like a voice memo I'd recorded when she called me one day, thinking I'd side with her. I mean, come on, Nora. You know Dad's not going to cut you off. You're the tragic miracle. I'm the one who has to work for attention. She laughed. I didn't. That voice memo stayed on my phone. It wasn't about money anymore. It was about truth, and Dad deserved the truth. The restaurant hall was decorated with gold balloons and old photos of Dad. There was a slideshow playing on a projector with cheesy music. Everyone was dressed nicely, laughing, hugging, drinking. I wore a dark green dress that hit just below my knee, the good one. My crutch matched sleek black with a worn handle that had molded to my palm over time. When I walked in, I heard the whispering, "She's here. Oh, that's Nora, right? From the accident? She's doing so well, considering." I smiled politely, the way you do when you're tired of being someone's tragedy. Dad's eyes lit up when he saw me. There's my girl. He hugged me carefully, his hand warm at my back. You look beautiful, he said. You don't look 60. I lied, and he laughed. Emily appeared a moment later, drink in hand, dress sparkling. Wow. You made it on time. Miracles really do happen. Hi, Em, I said, keeping my voice level. She leaned in and kissed my cheek, her eyes scanning me up and down. Try not to make tonight about you, okay? Dad deserves a drama-free celebration. I felt my jaw clench. You mean, drama like financial ruin and emotional manipulation? She blinked. What? Nothing, I said lightly. Enjoy the night. After dinner, people mingled near the bar while the staff swapped plates for dessert. The cake, a huge chocolate monstrosity with "Happy 60th" mark in gold icing, was waiting on a side table. Emily clinked her glass. Everyone? Can I have your attention? People turned. The music was lowered. I just want to say a few words about my dad, she said, all teary-eyed and earnest. He's always been my rock. When times were hard, he was there. When bills were tight, when life hit me hard, he never turned his back on me. That's the kind of man he is, selfless, giving. I could almost see the invisible halo she was trying to place over herself by extension. And of course, she added with a forced laugh, he's also taken care of others who haven't always been able to stand on their own defeat. Her eyes flicked to me. A murmur went through the crowd. I felt my cheeks burn. Dad frowned. Emily, no, it's okay, she said quickly. We're all family here. We can be honest. She walked closer to me, heels clicking, glass in hand. I was standing near the edge of the crowd, one hand on my crutch. Sometimes, she continued, it's hard watching people take and take and take, you know? Watching one person carry all the weight while someone else leans and never stands. Her smile sharpened. Before I could react, she reached out and yanked my crutch out from under me. I went down. My body hit the floor. Pain exploding up my leg and through my hip. The room gasped. My heart hammered in my ears. Emily held the crutch up like it was some kind of prop in a play. Look, everyone, she said, laughter in her voice. The Leech can't even stand without this. Time slowed. I saw Dad's face, pale and horrified. I saw my Aunt Karen's hand fly to her mouth. I saw cousins staring, wide-eyed, half-drunk, unsure if this was a joke or a crime. On the floor, my palms stung where I'd broken the fall. My right leg screamed in protest. For a second, I wanted to disappear. Then something in me snapped into perfect, icy focus. Dad rushed toward me. Nora, are you okay? He knelt down, hands hovering, afraid to hurt me. I nodded, swallowing hard. I'm okay. Emily still held the crutch, lips twisted. She's fine, Dad. Maybe if she tried a little harder, she wouldn't need this thing. It's been years. At some point, you're just milking it. That was it. I looked up at her from the floor. Emily, I said quietly. Give me my crutch. She scoffed. Make me. The room went so quiet you could hear the ice clinking in someone's glass. I took a slow breath and pushed myself up using a nearby chair. My leg wobbled, but I stayed upright. I reached into the pocket of my dress and pulled out my phone. If you won't give it to me, I said, at least give everyone the truth. I opened the voice memo app, tapped a file and hit play. Emily's own voice filled the room. Tinny but clear. I mean, come on, Nora. You know Dad's not going to cut you off. You're the tragic miracle. I'm the one who has to work for attention. A ripple went through the crowd. Emily's smile dropped. I turned up the volume. Not everyone wants to hire a 31-year-old who had to start over. I don't have a degree like you wanted, remember? I wasn't allowed to be an artist like Princess Nora. I had to be practical. And now it's biting me in the ass. Whatever. Dad will cover it. He always does. He knows I'm all he has that's actually functional. Someone gasped. Dad slowly stood up beside me, his face darkening with each word. I stopped the recording. That's not. Emily started. You don't understand the context. I understand enough. I cut in. My voice trembled, but I didn't stop. You've been borrowing money for years, lying, guilt-tripping Dad into draining himself dry. And you know what? I could have kept pretending I didn't notice. I could have stayed the tragic miracle who's just grateful to be invited. But then you humiliated me on the floor of our father's birthday party. I looked at her crutch still gripped in her hand. You called me a leech, I said softly. But you're the one who can't stand on her own without sucking everyone else dry. I tapped again and opened my photo gallery. I didn't just come here to celebrate, I said. I came prepared. I projected my phone screen to the TV connected to the slideshow, something Emily had bragged about setting up earlier. A couple of taps and my phone mirrored onto the big screen. First, a screenshot of text messages. Dad, if I don't get $600 by Friday, they're cutting the power. I'll pay you back next month, I swear. I'm serious. Do you want me homeless? It's not like Nora needs the help. She already gets everything. Another set. Just put it on your card. It's for Dad's birthday anyway. Nora can't help, obviously. More messages. More guilt trips. More lies. Then a photo. A stack of unopened bills, all with Emily's name on them, dates going back months. The room buzzed. Emily's face went from red to white. Stop it, she shouted. You're making me look bad. I laughed, bitter. You did that yourself. Dad looked at the screen, then at Emily, then at me. Is this true? He asked quietly. Emily swallowed hard. Dad, you know I've been struggling. I help you more than she ever has. I cook, I clean, I drive you places, you live in my house rent-free, he interrupted. His voice shook. You use my car, you use my cards, and you embarrass your sister, who can barely stand without pain, in front of everyone. He held out his hand. Give her the crutch. For a second, I thought she'd refuse. Then, with a sharp movement, she shoved it toward him. He passed it back to me. The moment my hand closed around the handle, I felt my balance return, not just physically, but emotionally, too. I stood tall. Revenge isn't always about yelling or throwing drinks or slapping someone across the face like they do in TV dramas. Sometimes, real revenge is quiet, precise, exposing someone in the exact way they've been hiding from. I turned to the crowd and took a shaky breath. I didn't want to ruin tonight, I said. I love my dad. He's been there for both of us. But I'm done being the scapegoat. I'm done being the excuse for why Emily treats him like her personal bank and me like dead weight. I looked at Dad. I saw the draft will. The note about you wanting her to administer my care. His eyes widened. Nora, I'm not mad at you, I said. I get it. You thought she was the strong one, the responsible one. I don't blame you for that. I blame her for using that trust to bleed you dry. I felt my voice steady. I don't want a guardian. I don't need a handler. I need you to see me as more than broken. Silence. Then a single clap from Aunt Karen. Then another. Then more. It wasn't a thunderous applause, but it was enough. Emily glared at everyone like they had betrayed her. You're all unbelievable, she snapped. He's my father. I've done everything for him. She pointed at me. You're just jealous. You always have been. She grabbed her purse off a nearby chair. If you're so independent, Nora, let's see how you do when I'm gone. Emily, Dad said, voice low. You should leave. She laughed bitterly. Gladly, she stormed out, heels striking the floor like gunshots. The door slammed behind her. The party never fully recovered after that. The music turned back on, eventually quieter. People spoke in hushed voices. Some left early. Others came up to me, touching my arm, telling me I was brave, that they always suspected something was off about Emily. That part annoyed me. If you suspected, why didn't you say anything? But I let it go. I was exhausted. Dad and I sat at a small table off to the side. The cake had finally been cut. Slices sat half-eaten in front of us. I'm so sorry, kiddo, he said. He looked older than usual, lines deeper, eyes red. I should have seen it. I should have protected you from her. I shook my head. You've been through enough. You lost Mom. You almost lost me. You were trying to keep the peace. That's no excuse, he said. I let her treat you like that. In my house, on my time, with my money. He stared down at his hands. I'm calling the lawyer on Monday, he said. The will is getting changed. No administrators. No guardians. Just you and me making decisions about you. And Emily, he sighed. I'll help her get on her feet if she actually wants help. But no more blank checks. No more emotional blackmail. Tears stung my eyes. Dad, he squeezed my hand. You're not a leech, Nora. You never were. You're my daughter. And you've been stronger than any of us. I laughed weakly. Well, I did just survive a character assassination attempt in a cocktail dress. He smiled. That you did. In the weeks that followed, the fallout was messy. Emily sent a few long, angry texts to me, not to Dad. Everything was my fault. I had embarrassed her, taken things out of context, weaponized her vulnerability. I didn't respond. Dad blocked her for a while after she called him screaming, accusing him of choosing the cripple over the daughter who actually does something. That word hurt. But it didn't break me this time. I doubled down on physical therapy. I started selling my art online. Not because I had to prove anything, but because I finally believed my life was allowed to move forward. A couple of months later, I walked without a crutch for the first time into a small local gallery that agreed to display my work. My gait was a little uneven, my legs still stiff, but I was walking. Dad was there, standing next to a painting I'd done of my mom in her gardening hat. You did it, he whispered. Still a work in progress, I said. But yeah, I did. Emily didn't show up that day. I didn't expect her to. Revenge stories like to end with the villain groveling, begging for forgiveness. Real life doesn't always work that way. Sometimes the villain just stays bitter, stays gone, and sometimes that's the best ending you can ask for. If there's one thing I learned from all of this, it's that the most dangerous leeches aren't the ones people talk about. They're the ones who smile the brightest, organize the parties, make the speeches, and use other people's pain as their backdrop. For years, I thought my disability made me weak, that needing a crutch or a hand or a ride made me less, that I had to be endlessly grateful just to exist without being called selfish. But that night at my dad's birthday, when I hit the floor and had the whole room looking down at me, I realized something. I'd survived a car crash. I'd survived months of rehab. I'd survived losing my mom. I'd survived years of quiet emotional abuse from someone who was supposed to have my back. The only person who ever treated me like a leech was the one who needed everyone else's blood to feel important, and I'm done feeding her. So that's how my sister stole my crutch at my dad's birthday party, tried to humiliate me in front of everyone, and ended up exposing herself as the real leech instead. If you were in my place, what would you have done that night? Would you have stayed quiet to keep the peace, or called her out like I did? Let me know in the comments. I read all of them. And if you want more real-life revenge stories like this one, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss the next story.